My own sister texted me, "Don't bother showing up to the wedding. It's not your day." No call, no tears, just a cold line on a glowing screen. I laughed, shut the door on her perfect day, and booked a flight to Hawaii. 1 week later, while sipping coffee at the airport, her wedding fell apart. My phone buzzed relentlessly, 110 missed calls, and that was just the start. Before I dive deeper, hit like and drop a comment telling me where you're listening from, and if you've ever faced something like this, your advice reminds me I'm not alone. I grew up in a house where appearances mattered more than love. To neighbors, we looked flawless. Freshly mowed lawn, matching Christmas sweaters, smiles glued on every family photo. But inside, everything revolved around Megan, my older sister, the golden child. She was the pretty one, the loud one, the center of every conversation. I was the quiet shadow, the one who cleaned up messes no one else wanted. Even as kids, our roles were obvious. Megan got the spotlight, I got the chores. She threw parties in high school, and I was the one scrubbing red Solo cup stains out of the carpet the next morning. Our parents called it normal sibling dynamics, but I learned early that my value came from how much I could fix, not who I was. So when Megan got engaged, no one was surprised I jumped in to help. Planning weddings wasn't a side gig, it was my career. I had built my own event company from scratch, pouring my energy into creating magical nights for strangers who truly appreciated my work. For my sister, I gave everything for free. Hours of calls, late-night spreadsheets, vendor negotiations that could make anyone's head spin. I told myself it was love, that maybe this time she'd see me differently, maybe our parents would finally look at me with the same pride reserved for her. I wanted to believe my effort could earn me a place at the table, not just as her planner, but as her sister. Looking back, it's almost laughable, because the truth had already been there, hidden in my mom's warning, "Don't make things harder for Megan. It's her day," or the way my dad shifted the conversation whenever I mentioned my business. They didn't see me as a professional or even a daughter with limits. They saw me as convenient labor. As the wedding drew closer, I felt the weight of that truth pressing down. Every flower arrangement, every call sheet, every meticulously drafted timeline, I poured myself into it, hoping it would be enough. But deep down, a quiet voice whispered what I didn't want to hear. No matter what I gave, it would never be enough. The first crack appeared in the smallest way. My phone buzzed late one night, Megan's name lighting up the screen. I expected another question about centerpieces or cake flavors she couldn't decide on. Instead, it was a casual line. "By the way, can you cover the florist's final invoice? Your deposit didn't cover it all." "No, please. No, thank you." Just an assumption I would handle it, because that's what I always did. I stared at the message, my chest tightening, and typed back. "I already put down the deposit. That was my gift. I can't cover more." Her reply came instantly. "Don't make this a big deal. It's just money. Just money." Easy for her to say when it wasn't hers. A few days later, I tried talking to Mom for support, sitting at the kitchen table with her coffee scent drifting between us, and asked, "Did you know Megan wants me to pay more?" She sighed, the way she always did when I brought up uncomfortable topics. "Honey, Megan's under a lot of stress. Don't add to it. If you can help, you should." There it was again, the command to stay silent, to carry the burden, so Megan could shine. The real turning point came when Dad called. His voice was warm at first, even cheerful. "So, sweetheart, we're all pitching in for Megan and Alex's wedding gift, a down payment on their first house. Your share is $2,000. Just transfer it to me." I gripped the phone, so tightly my hand hurt. "Dad," I said slowly, "I'm not even invited to the wedding anymore." A long pause, then his tone hardened. "This isn't about the wedding, Clara. It's about family. Don't punish your sister over one little seating issue." One little seating issue. My exclusion, my work, my money dismissed in a single phrase. After that, the humiliation went public. One night, scrolling Instagram before bed, I froze. My cousin had posted pictures from Megan's bridal shower, held at the same garden cafe I'd scouted months before. The bridesmaids in matching dresses I helped pick, clinking champagne glasses, smiles all around, Megan glowing at the center. The caption read, "The A-Team celebrating the bride-to-be." I wasn't part of the picture. I wasn't part of the A-Team. I closed the app, throat dry, hands shaking. For the first time, it wasn't just sadness. It was something sharper, colder, a humming anger under my skin. 10 days before the wedding, my phone rang again. Megan's voice exploded the second I answered. The band just canceled. Their singer got sick. You have to fix this, Clara. The wedding is in 10 days. Do something. Her demand was casual, as if I still worked for her, as if she hadn't erased me from her big day. I took a slow breath. I'm not your planner anymore, Megan. Silence, then a screech. Are you kidding me? After everything I've done for you, you're really going to be this petty? I didn't argue. I hung up, the click echoing in the room. For the first time, I didn't fold. In that silence, I realized something vital. This wasn't just about a wedding anymore. It was about my worth, about whether I would keep letting them use me until there was nothing left. That night, lying in bed, I made a decision. They thought I was powerless, the quiet fixer in the background. But they had no idea how much power I actually had. The days that followed blurred into a strange mix of quiet rage and icy clarity. For so long, I had been the fixer, absorbing every demand without question. But that call with Megan, the way she screeched, the way my parents expected me to keep pouring money into a celebration I wasn't even invited to, snapped something inside me. I sat at my kitchen table, surrounded by neat stacks of papers, contracts, invoices, receipts, the documents that had ruled my life for 6 months. I'd signed every single one under my business name, Collins Events LLC. The venue, caterer, florist, linen rentals, all of them. At the time, I hadn't thought much of it. It was just how I operated, never mixing personal and professional accounts. But now, scanning each line, one detail stood out like a lifeline. Final balances were due exactly 7 days before the event. If payment wasn't received, contracts became void. In other words, the wedding didn't belong to Megan, it belonged to me. Still, I needed confirmation. I called Sarah, my friend and lawyer, the one who had helped me draft these contracts years ago when I was just starting out. We met at a small coffee shop downtown. The place smelled like espresso and cinnamon, the air humming with low conversations and clinking cups. I slid the folder across the table, my hands trembling despite the calm expression I tried to maintain. Sarah flipped through the contracts with her usual no-nonsense composure. After a few minutes, she looked up, eyes steady. Ava, you're the client of record. Legally, they answer to you. If the final payments aren't made by the deadline, you're entitled to cancel. The deposits will be refunded to your business account. Her words hit me with shock and relief at the same time. I wasn't powerless. I wasn't just the sister they could discard. I was the one holding all the strings. Is it petty if I use that? I whispered. Sarah shook her head. It's not petty. It's business. They treated your professional work like a doormat. You have every right to pull it out from under them. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, the glow of my laptop illuminating the room. My cursor blinked, taunting me, daring me to take the step. I drafted 4 emails, one for each vendor, polite, professional, and free of anger. As the client on record for the event scheduled August 30th, I am writing to inform you that I will not be remitting the final payment as stipulated in our contract. Please consider this notice of cancellation effective immediately. Refund the deposit to my business account on file. I read them over and over, my heart pounding. This wasn't revenge born of fury. It was the clean precision of someone claiming her power. I scheduled the emails to send at exactly 9 a.m., 7 days before the wedding. As I shut my laptop, a strange calm settled over me. Outside, the city lights flickered, car horns echoed faintly, and for once, their chaos wasn't mine to manage. The next morning, I poured coffee, sat by the window, and waited. At 9 a.m. sharp, the emails went out. No fireworks, no dramatic music, just a series of polite digital goodbyes traveling through cyberspace. For a few hours, silence reigned. I imagined vendors opening their inboxes, reading the words, making calls. Then, in the afternoon, Megan's phone must have started ringing. One by one, the dominoes fell. I sipped my coffee calm. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for their approval. I was waiting to witness everything they took for granted crumble. It started with a call from the venue manager. Harrison's name lit up on Megan's phone at noon as she picked nail colors with her bridesmaids. I wasn't there, of course, But I pictured it vividly, her initial laughter, thinking it was a mistake, fading into a faltering smile as he said in his crisp professional tone, "I'm sorry, Miss Collins. We received a cancellation notice from Collins Events. Your booking has been released." Within the hour, the caterer called, then the florist, then the linen company, each delivering the same polite, devastating news. No payment, no wedding. My phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Megan's name flashed. I let it ring twice before answering, then put it on speaker and leaned back, calm as the storm raged on the other end. "What the hell did you do?" Her voice cracked into a shrill scream. Chaos spilled through the line, my mother shouting, my father's booming voice echoing. The venue canceled the caterer too. They all said you pulled the plug. I took a slow sip of coffee. I didn't do anything. I just chose not to make the final payments. You told me I had no place at your wedding, Megan, so I removed myself and my business from it. She screeched, voice raw with panic. "No," I said evenly. "You ruined your own wedding when you decided I wasn't worth a seat at the table. You can't erase me, use me, and still expect my work to stand behind you." Silence fell for a beat before my mother cut in, sharp and furious. "Ava, how dare you? This is your sister's big day. You need to fix this right now." "I can't," I replied calmly, almost gently, which only fueled their anger. "The contracts are void. Deposits have been refunded to my business account. It's done." My father roared, so loudly I had to hold the phone away. "No," I said. "That money was never a gift. It's business, and I'm done letting you treat me like free labor." For the first time, I didn't scramble, didn't apologize. Just the weight of my words landing in the silence that followed. On the line, I could hear Megan breaking down, sobs jagged and furious. "You don't understand what you've done. Guests are flying in. Alex's family is already here. And yet somehow there's no room for me." I cut in, voice sharper than before. "Do you hear yourself? You erased me and still expected me to carry you." The sobs turned venomous. "You're pathetic. You've always been jealous. You'll die alone with your spreadsheets and contracts. No one will ever love you the way we love Megan." That one stung, but I stayed steady. "Maybe," I said softly, "but at least I'll never beg scraps of love from people who only know how to take." Silence followed. Not a scream, not a sob, just nothing. I ended the call myself, pressing the red button with a hand that no longer trembled. The next few days blurred into panicked voicemails, angry texts, even threats. At one point, my father showed up at my building, pounding on the lobby door, demanding I fix the family disaster. I stayed upstairs, lights off, watching from the window until he finally left. For once, I didn't cave. And then came the wedding day, or rather, what was supposed to be the wedding day. While Megan and my parents scrambled to salvage scraps, switching venues, begging vendors who the vendors were already booked, and I was sitting at the airport, suitcase at my side, the hum of departures and announcements filling the air. I ordered a coffee, set my phone to silent, and slid my boarding pass across the counter. As the plane lifted into the sky, I thought of Megan in her white dress, standing in an empty hall with no flowers, no music, no food. The image wasn't sweet revenge. It was justice, the kind that comes when someone finally refuses to be used. By the time my phone buzzed again, 40 new messages, 70 more missed calls, I was already soaring over the Pacific, sunlight glittering on the water below. For the first time in years, the chaos wasn't mine to fix. The strangest thing about walking away was how light it felt. I thought I might carry guilt or regret, but all I felt was space, a freedom to finally breathe without their weight pressing on my chest. News trickled, back in fragments. A cousin messaged in disbelief that Megan's wedding had been reduced to a chaotic backyard scramble, with plastic tablecloths from Walmart and pizza delivery instead of a plated dinner. Half the guests left early. Photos were conspicuously absent from social media, except one grainy shot where Megan's eyes looked more furious than joyful. My parents tried one last time to reel me back in, sending a long email full of guilt trips about families sticking together, claiming I had embarrassed them and ruined Megan's big day. I read it once, then deleted it. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to respond. Meanwhile, the refunded deposit sat safely in my business account, proof that my work hadn't been wasted, it had simply been reclaimed. With that money, I reinvested in my company, booking new clients who valued me, who thanked me, who paid without question. But the best part wasn't the business, it was my own peace. I walked along the beach in Hawaii at sunrise, sand cool under my feet, the ocean stretching endless and calm. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning around someone else's demands. I was just living. I thought of my grandmother, the one family member who had ever truly seen me. She used to tell me, "Your worth isn't in what you give away, it's in what you hold on to." Standing there with the waves lapping at my ankles, I finally understood. They had lost me completely, and I hadn't lost a thing. Family can wound in ways strangers never could. They know exactly where to cut deepest, and for years, I let those cuts bleed while pretending everything was fine. But sometimes, the bravest thing you can do isn't fixing the mess, it's walking away from it. I didn't destroy my sister's wedding. I simply stopped holding it up. And in doing so, I realized something I should have known all along. My value was never measured by their approval. It was mine to define. If you've ever stood up to family who tried to erase you, or had to protect your own peace at the cost of belonging, know this: you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. I'll be reading them. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just remind you of your own strength up back in fragments. A cousin messaged in disbelief that Megan's wedding had been reduced to a chaotic backyard scramble, with plastic tablecloths from Walmart and pizza delivery instead of a plated dinner. Half the guests left early. Photos were conspicuously absent from social media, except one grainy shot where Megan's eyes looked more furious than joyful. My parents tried one last time to reel me back in, sending a long email full of guilt trips about families sticking together, claiming I had embarrassed them and ruined Megan's big day. I read it once, then deleted it. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to respond. Meanwhile, the refunded deposit sat safely in my business account, proof that my work hadn't been wasted, it had simply been reclaimed. With that money, I reinvested in my company, booking new clients who valued me, who thanked me, who paid without question. But the best part wasn't the business, it was my own peace. I walked along the beach in Hawaii at sunrise, sand cool under my feet, the ocean stretching endless and calm. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning around someone else's demands. I was just living. I thought of my grandmother, the one family member who had ever truly seen me. She used to tell me, "Your worth isn't in what you give away, it's in what you hold on to." Standing there with the waves lapping at my ankles, I finally understood. They had lost me completely, and I hadn't lost a thing. Family can wound in ways strangers never could. They know exactly where to cut deepest, and for years, I let those cuts bleed while pretending everything was fine. But sometimes, the bravest thing you can do isn't fixing the mess, it's walking away from it. I didn't destroy my sister's wedding. I simply stopped holding it up. And in doing so, I realized something I should have known all along. My value was never measured by their approval. It was mine to define. If you've ever stood up to family who tried to erase you, or had to protect your own peace at the cost of belonging, know this: you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. I'll be reading them. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just remind you of your own strength.